big, grand gestures we make? Or is it something that starts, well, much deeper, somewhere inside ourselves? Today, we're going to explore an ethical framework that says the most important work we ever do is internal, and that this inner work ends up shaping everything we do in the outside world. So, here's our roadmap. We're going to follow this core idea as it kind of ripples outward. We'll start in the most personal place possible, that struggle inside ourselves. Then, we'll see how that inner work becomes the bedrock of honesty, how it gets tested on our daily lives, how it can actually shape an entire economy, and finally, how a whole community works to keep it alive. It's a journey that starts inside and truly changes the world outside. All right, let's dive right in. The starting point for this whole ethical system isn't some external rulebook. It's a battle that takes place right inside you. At the very heart of this is a concept you've probably heard of, but maybe not like this: Jihad al-Akbar, or the greatest jihad. And you gotta forget what you might think you know. This isn't about some external conflict. This is the constant internal struggle against our own worst impulses, our ego, our anger, our greed. It's that quiet, lifelong battle for self-purification. And this is where the framework makes a really crucial distinction. Islamic tradition separates the external, physical struggle, calling it the lesser jihad, from the internal one, the battle against your own self. That's considered the greater jihad. There's this incredible story where the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is returning from a physical battle, and he tells his followers, "We have returned from the lesser struggle to the greater one." The greater one being the struggle against their own souls. The message is crystal clear. Mastering yourself is the hardest and most important battle you will ever fight. Okay, so if you're engaged in that constant inner work, where does it show up first? How does it actually manifest in the real world? Well, the framework says its first and most critical expression is just pure, simple honesty. This saying from the Prophet, peace be upon him, gets right to the heart of it. Honesty isn't just a nice social policy. It's presented as the direct path, the first domino to fall in a chain reaction that leads to living a good life, and, ultimately, to paradise. And we see this principle in action in the most profound way. Long before he was a prophet, Muhammad, peace be upon him, was known throughout his city by a single powerful title, Al-Amin, the trustworthy. Now, this wasn't a nickname he gave himself. It was a reputation he earned over a lifetime of absolute integrity. As a merchant, his honesty was legendary. I mean, think about that for a second. Even the people who would later become his biggest enemies, they trusted him with their money and their most valuable things. That's the power of true honesty. And this commitment to truth, it can take root incredibly early. Take the story of Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal when he was just a boy. His uncle, who was a spy, asked him to deliver a report. But on the way, the boy realizes what he's doing, that he's participating in spying, something he knows is wrong. So instead of just following orders, he throws the report into a river. He just refused to be part of something unethical. That is such a powerful example of an inner moral compass guiding your actions even as a kid. So we have this foundation of inner discipline and a deep commitment to honesty. But how does that actually hold up when the rubber meets the road? Let's look at a classic ethical test, finding something valuable that doesn't belong to you. Now, Islamic law has a specific term for this whole situation, al-luqata, and a definition is so key here. It's not just a lost item, it's property that you find and you take. Why? To preserve it in trust. So right from the very first moment, the whole intention isn't to own it, but to protect it for somebody else. And this isn't a simple case of finders keepers. No way. There's a clear systematic process. You have to notice its specific features, you have to announce it publicly for a long time, often a full year for valuable things, and then you have to verify the owner's claim before you give it back. But get this, the responsibility doesn't just end there. The item is always considered a trust. Even if years go by, if the original owner shows up, you are obligated to return it or its value. It's this profound, long-term commitment to someone else's property. And what's really fascinating is the level of nuance here. Scholars have even debated whether you should pick up the item in the first place. Some say, yes, absolutely, it's your duty to protect someone's property. But others say, you know what? It's better to leave it because you might not be able to handle the huge responsibility that comes with it. But the crucial point is that both sides are coming from the exact same ethical goal: act with integrity and protect the rights of the owner. All right, now let's zoom out. We've talked about these individual tests, but how do these core ideas of trust and fairness and responsibility shape something as huge and complex as an entire economic system? The main idea here is halal money. And believe me, it is about so much more than what you can and can't eat. This applies to the entire life cycle of wealth, how you earn it, how you manage it, and how you spend it. Every single step has to line up with a strict ethical and spiritual framework. So this whole framework is really defined by a few core prohibitions. You've got riba, which is interest, and it's forbidden because it's seen as exploitative. Then there's gharar, which means you have to avoid excessive uncertainty or ambiguity. Basically, deals have to be crystal clear and fair. And of course, your money can't come from forbidden industries, and you can't get it through deception or fraud. Each one of these rules is designed to bake justice right into the economic system. You can really see the fundamental difference in philosophy here. A conventional loan, a lot of the time, just transfers all the risk onto the borrower. But Islamic finance? It's built on partnership. Instead of interest, you have models like profit and loss sharing, which means the risk is shared. It also means that financial deals have to be tied to real, tangible assets, which naturally discourages pure speculation. You know, in a world that's seen crises born from abstract financial deals, this whole asset-backed, risk-sharing approach is a really fascinating alternative. So we have these really deep principles for ourselves, for our individual actions, and for the whole economy. But how are these values taught? How are they maintained and passed down through generations? Well, this is where community leadership is absolutely vital. And a central figure in all this is the imam. The role of an imam in a modern community is just so multifaceted. It goes way beyond just leading prayers. They're teachers, they're family counselors, community organizers, youth mentors. They're often even bridge builders with people from other faiths. In a nutshell, they're the ones who are tasked with translating all these high-level ethical principles into the day-to-day lived reality of their community. And that brings us full circle, right back to where we started. We began with the greatest jihad, that struggle within, and we've seen how that one single idea can ripple out to shape personal honesty, our daily choices, economic systems, and even entire communities. Which leaves us with the same question we started with, but this time it's for you to think about. What are the inner values that guide your actions in the outer world?